Alright guys, alright. Hello, and welcome to another one of these Mythic Plus videos. This is gonna be Spires 18. Tyrannical, Spiteful, Necrotic. In previous season I would be absolutely terrified of this key. But now that Spires has been sort of nerfed quite hard, it's been a little bit easier. This is a full pre-made group with guildies, 2 frost mages, rogue, and DH. So pretty much like a super non-meta comp right now. Kind of weird, but you know, just playing with friends. That's what matters. It was actually going quite okay until we realized that Birkin was lagging. And yes, he did this much damage while lagging, yes. Don't ask how. But he had like super lags, and at some point in this key, and this is the reason why this is my favorite key this season so far, he will actually disconnect, and we will still manage to time this. So that was pretty cool. We literally waited for him for like 1 minute, and then he couldn't log back in, and we decided to go without him into, you know, that difficult pull before Venturax? Well, that pull, so we did it without him, sort of. And it was just very cool overall and fun, because going towards the end of the key, we were super tight on time. And also we actually did something we debated, whether if it's worth or not, and we decided to do it, and that is we skipped one of the Tormentors. I'm not gonna spoil and say which one we skipped, but once it happens I will tell you guys what was the logic behind it. And even though I don't really agree with it, I think in our case, in this specific key, under the circumstances that we were already really behind because of that like 1.5 minutes of waiting, I actually do think that it was a good decision. Okay, so you guys know how it goes. It's I'm gonna comment when I see things that are worth commenting, since this is Tyrannical week. Polls are pretty much gonna be the same. I'm not gonna speak too much about them. I'll say that we wanna do our usual stuff, obviously give PI to one of your classes that has cooldowns, and then make sure to apply Guardian Spirit early on into the pool so you get some value out of it, because since it's Necrotic Wake, it's not really doing much for you once the stats build up, except it prevents stats. Also we are using Tuft, which is a very powerful tool, but the healing aspect of it does not work on Necrotic, so basically us as Holy Priests are really not the perfect healers for this specific week, in my opinion, but I actually pushed quite a bit of keys, and I made it work. It's all about you and tank communicating. I also, same thing I said in the previous dungeon I commented on, that I've done in the previous video. You can check that one out as well. Sanguine Depths, I think it was. I'm gonna say the same thing now. This week it is worth, well actually now it's not this week anymore, now it's the next week, but when it's Necrotic, communicate with your tank, it's actually worth sacrificing the stun on Chastise, which I would say in no other week is worth, but in this specific week it's worth to sacrifice it for the see how I apply Guardian Spirit early, by the way, but you wanna get Shining Force, you want that knockback, because it will help your tank kite, plus it slows mobs back, so it also allows you to basically use it as a slowing ability, right, and as a kite ability. So he like gathers them, then you push them all away, and they're still slow, and they can't reach him, and then you interrupt the ranged ones if there are any ranged ones and stuff like that. Obviously, how useful it is will depend, you know, highly on the dungeons as well, but I would say in a lot of cases it is useful for sure. And here we had some problems with ghosts, as it, you know, that's how it goes. Sometimes with the melee classes especially, or casters that have like long cast times, can get hit by ghosts. And yeah, boss. Okay, so basically 2 frost mages, they're really good for 2 target boss fights, so this is kind of like our fight to do. You pop PI on whoever hits cooldowns or whoever deals more damage, and
overhead slash.
I kind of wish I saved my Ascended Boom for this, but it's fine. Just use your Chastise, apply dots to both guys so you deal more damage, and then Holy Fire, the one that you're gonna smite, and just keep smiting. Don't forget guys, our smite deals a lot of damage. Just you gotta be careful here with the tank as well, because during this phase, when Kintara is in the sky, there's not much tank damage going on. So use this opportunity to deal as much damage as you can. Smite. I wish I smite more in this fight. I think I could have played much more aggressive. I was healing a little bit too much. Just watch for that overhead slash. See how much it shreds the tank. That mechanic is what can really kill tanks, and you gotta be careful. Tanks also need to be aware of this. You can get one shot even after nerfs, and with the new scaling you definitely can get one shot. You need to have some sort of defensive running, and then you guys need to be ready to, I mean, if you're a healer and you're watching this, you need to be ready to stop your tank up as much as you can. Alright, spear, that's simple, just move, no big deal there. It's very straightforward mechanic. Don't stand in black things on the ground. That's usually bad. Dodge the balls, kill the boss. Pretty straightforward. After that, you will notice how on some pulls I will be more focused on just dealing damage just as much as I can. That's I feel like our main weakness as Holy Priests is that we need to, like, if you play Disc, you can deal damage and heal. If you play Holy Paladin, you can deal damage and heal, but if you play Holy, it feels like you need to make a decision. Am I healing or am I dealing damage? You do not have casts that do both, so therefore you need to kind of manage your actions better. You need to think about what you want to do. Is this pull where I need healing, or is this pull where I need damage? And see how I start with Holy Fire and then I just dot everything up. You just target them all, like tab or whatever, however you're targeting. You can even use mouse over and just as many Shadow Word bats as you can, because this is not gonna be tanked, so there's no damage taken here, and that's why I pop Ascended Boon as well. And look at the damage I did 10k DPS there. That's really good for a healer, especially Holy Priest. That's really good. So that's what we want to do. We want to make sure that we just want to make sure that we're helping for this to go faster. Because if tank is tanking this, he's doing it wrong. Like this is obviously there are some tanks that can tank it. Like, I don't know, you can tank it as a druid, for example. You can just pop that incarn or whatever the fuck it's called, and oh damn, I said the swear word. Okay, I'm kind of trying to avoid swearing on YouTube. I don't know why. People have told me it's bad. You wanna be careful. Your tank should not be tanking this unless like they know what they're doing. But in that case, you're probably not gonna heal them anyway. It's just their mitigation or a CD that's gonna carry them. So this is a perfect opportunity for you to show how much damage you can deal. This pull pretty straightforward. We don't even line of sight it anymore, especially not on non-fortified weeks. Although you can see here how it got like a little bit scary at some point, but yeah, pretty straightforward. Don't forget to use your PI. There it is. And just Holy Fire. Usually you want to Holy Fire the target that's gonna live the longest. See how I was looking for the one that has most HP, because I don't want it to, like, I don't want to waste like my CD on a target that's gonna die straight away. Even though sometimes it's worth it, but you know, you kind of have to couch for yourself. You know, use your brain. Why would you apply a dot that deals a lot of damage to a target that's gonna die right now? You better apply it to somewhere where it's gonna keep damaging. Like that's just logic. I don't know, like, I hope everybody can understand. Okay. Also, I just want to say, Spires of Ascension, because I previous season I never played with music. I listened to music while doing keys. This season I decided to like approach pushing a little bit more seriously. Here I pulled Birkin because he DC'd, by the way. This is where he starts trying to fix his things, and you'll see him AFK a lot. This season I tried to approach like things a little bit more seriously, because Well, essentially, I think that music is a little bit of a distraction, and also you can listen to add-ons much better if you don't have those outside distractions. Here, what I should be doing is I should be they should either be spell stealing or I should be dispelling the buff on the guy. We did it, so that's good. And yeah, just in general, just pay attention to what's going on. Heal. You can see how I'm just doing damage here, and because it's a squad leader, I know these guys are going to live a little bit longer, so I'm trying to help with Ascended Boon. But also, why I use the Ascended Boon there has more logic to it. It's not just this. It's also that I know that on the next 2 packs, I'm actually going to have to do a lot of healing. And here, these packs aren't dangerous; they're just tanky. So I know that I'm going to have to heal on the next packs, and we talked about this. I talked about this on the previous keys as well. Ascended Boon is not a great tool for us as holy priests when we have to heal as well, because it just kind of makes us waste those global cities, and therefore you wanna you just want to manage that a little bit better. Want to make sure that you are casting Ascended Boon on the pulls where you do not need to do too much healing, okay? Because, I don't know if you saw, but before the first boss as well, if you go back and you look at the pull at the stairs, I cast Ascended Boon, but I didn't really cast that many Novas and Blasts, maybe 3-4 max, and then I started healing. So that's why I also said, like, I wish I saved it for the boss, because there I could have actually done damage. Because right now, like, the way I used it was just a waste, pretty much. Not really a waste, I still dealt some damage, but, you know, it's not the optimal usage.
Crashing strike. Internal strike. Internal strike. Crashing strike. Internal strike. Internal strike. Internal strike.
And here Birkin died because he was AFK. I think he got meleeed by a ghost. Like he had a DC. Like he did a lot of reloads here, and he tried to like fix his things. So like you guys will see his overall damage is still mega impressive. Here I'm checking MS because he asked like how our MS is doing, and we talked a little bit about the lag. It's just like Birkin is really good. I'm gonna leave his YouTube as well in the description. You guys, like, if you wanna see how to improve as a DPS player, you really should take a look at his channel. Especially if you're playing Frost Mage. He's a Frost Mage specialist. Like he's done some boss fights really good, like to an extent where his logs were like in comparison to like some of the top guilds, frost mages and stuff like that. Just really impressive stuff. He really is something else. I'm probably gonna be a little bit more quiet from now on. I'll probably keep talking on the difficult pull on the stairs and on the boss, and then I'm gonna be silent again until third boss. The reason is there's not that much to say, and I don't want to just repeat the stuff over and over again. As always, guys, I will encourage you to ask questions, to leave any sort of feedback that you might have. I'm always happy to respond, whether it's UI, although I think my UI still could use a lot of improvement, but I think it's a pretty decent one. Gear, UI, gameplay, if you want to talk about, I don't know, basketball or boobs or anything, any sort of feedback or any sort of comments you guys might have, feel free to ask in comments and I'll be happy to respond. I love this game and I love getting better at it and I love to talk about it. And I'm always happy to hear what other people have to say, and I also love to talk myself and like share what I found useful with others, because I know this game can be overwhelming. It's, you know, people say, wow, it's an easy game. Well, yeah, I'm not gonna disagree with that, but I also think it's a very hard game if you're trying to reach these like high levels. And I know somebody might say, dude, you're doing 18 Spires, that's not even that high. I did 25 sanguine depths. Yeah, I'm not saying I'm the best, but these keys are high. Like, percentually speaking, there's not that many people doing keys at this high level, and I feel like sharing what I've learned and teaching people and helping them out is a way I can contribute to this community. And I know that when I started playing, and keep in mind I started playing in December, so I'm a really fresh retail player, I looked for a lot of resources and I just could not find much, and it gave me a lot of problems because I wanted to learn. You know, I wasn't one of those guys that just plays, because if you're trying to improve, it's not just about playing. I will say that's the main thing you need to do, because you just need to get comfortable with your class. But if you're just playing and not thinking about what you're doing, you're not gonna improve. You need to really get into it. You need to think, you need to analyze, you need to do math and numbers. And you don't really need to do math and numbers in a sense of, you know, you need to sit down and write it on paper. But you just need to use the logic, you know. You need to ask yourself, in which scenario is this gonna benefit me, and in which scenario is some other thing gonna benefit me, you know. And especially for us as healers, you know, as a DPS, it's easy to find out how to deal more damage. You just go and sim. But us as healers, we do not have that luxury, so we have to use different way of, like, we kind of have to experiment. You need to find that sweet spot for your secondary stats, for your primary stats. You need to find a build that works for you. Sometimes some builds are just better, but maybe they don't suit your playstyle. And here's that moment when I talked about the Burk and DC, so you'll see us waiting here and then we'll go into the pull. Just pretty unfortunate. We could have timed this key a little bit more casually, but we still did it. Like, I'm actually impressed. You guys will see, this was really tight on time.
Strike. Infuse weapon. Doctrine. Forsworn Doctrine.
In here, you gotta be careful with this pull. The main thing is like Praetor. I would say it's worth stunning and then Holy Firing because you do wanna like get that guy killed fast. And then these bird cats or whatever they're called, Stout Claws, you need to sort of kite them. So that's on tank. Luckily, this is DH, so DH just. I mean, if there's a tank that's good at kiting, it's DH, right? They just jump around and leave these brands or whatever they're called, and just since we have two frost mages, we're just slowing everything.
It's not ready yet.
Beware. You approach a powerful servant of the jailer.
Run away.
This is where you meet your end.
And then we went into the Tormentor, but we accidentally pulled the boss. So one more thing that we did like wrong, let's say, and could have cost us a lot, but luckily we managed to. We managed to reset the boss. Birken's still not here, so we were kinda. I think at this point we actually sort of low-key gave up a little bit, but Birkin said like his ping is better, so like at this point we just decided to play no matter like how it is, like, lag, no lag, we just have to go. And we kinda, I feel like secretly this kinda motivated all of us to
Run away.
kinda like try harder in a way.
Take the beast's power.
And I also want to say, so the reason I'm not casting Chastise there, even though it would be a DPS increase, is that I'm saving it for the boss. This boss needs to die fast, it's a hard boss. And I think I will die on this boss if I remember correctly. Sorry for spoilers. I don't know if you guys like when I say what's gonna happen in advance. It's because I'm trying to analyze things, and sometimes, because I'm watching this live and I'm commenting as I'm watching it, sometimes it's hard to say everything I want to in the moment, because there might be other things going on as well. And here we get pretty, like, you'll see, we get really unlucky on this boss, because we have two frost mages, they both have two ice blocks, and then we have rogue which has cloak. So all I needed to do was dot to go on one of them, and you guys will see it will go on me like, I think like 5 out of 6 times or something. It was really wild. And here Infested gets hit, that really caused a lot of issues, but it's fine, it happens. I'll get hit later as well. And Wildrat, he should have ice block, but I think I told him not to, because I thought we'll use them later, you know, like it'll go on them, but it doesn't. You'll see. Boss will dot me up again.
Dark Stride.
My celerity
here it
is
goes with
second
me.
to none.
And now notice how I'm popping Fade and popping Desperate Prayer. Those are two tools, the two defensive tools we have to reduce the damage we take. So even with both of those popped, you see how much damage the dot is doing. It really is a lot.
Dark Stride.
My celerity is second to none.
And again, it's on me, but this time I have no defensives, so I even put Guardian Spirit on myself. That's how stressed I was about dying here. And then the Serenity, I should have popped Apotheosis here, but I was greeding. I was like, no, it's fine. I want to save it for the next, and then I get hit here. And that was, honestly, that's quite upsetting. That's my bad. I actually thought I'm fine. I really didn't think I'm gonna get hit there. But the guys did it without me. We actually don't have a combat res, so this sort of situation can easily cause a wipe. The only combat res we have is that Arius is an engineer, but yeah, we still made it. And also notice how we dealt decent damage as Holy Priest, 1.7k. That's pretty good for a boss fight. You want to aim for about 2k, but you don't need to. Like 1.7 is still decent. I would say anything below 1.5k is bad. You want to be between 1.5 to 2k. That's like a good spot. Everything
We
above that is
sacrifice
extra,
because we must.
which is welcome
Mortal
as Holy Priest. At
burdens
least that's my
would
finding.
only
Maybe
impede
somebody
our
else has
sacred
better
duty.
results. If you do, let me know, because I'm curious to
No.
learn how.
It was a mortal who exposed the folly of your edicts.
A great evil lurks nearby. Expel it with haste.
I insisted we pull these two guys because like we're tight on time, and as you can see, like it was a little bit stressful. I had to use more tools than we usually do. We had to use him as well, but that's good. Like we want to use them, right? This is. I said that like it's a bad thing. It's a good thing. Like give me pulls where I can use my tools to keep us alive. That's the whole point of having the Holy Priest. We can heal a lot. No other class can heal as much as well. Okay, I shouldn't say no other class, but I feel like in terms of just pure raw HPS, like I don't know that much about Resto Druids and Mistweavers. I've heard Mistweaver can also heal a lot, but just like in terms of just raw HPS, we are actually doing a really good job as Holy Priests, so why not make pulls that are stressful for healing when we can utilize that? And here's what I talked about. Here's where we skipped the one of the Tormentors. It's a Frost Tormentor. So the interesting thing about it is because we found that he doesn't really increase our damage much, right? At this point in the run. So on the boss, during transition, when she flies away, you actually don't get slowed, which just changes everything because obviously, like if you were slowed during transition, the orbs would be harder to pick up, and that would actually be probably not worth it then. Although with this comp, it kind of would be simply because we have like super mobile classes, but in your regular comps, it wouldn't be worth it. However, in this one, I think it was worth it. I think it was good and good decision. Okay, so this boss is pretty straightforward. As Holy Priests, we can deal a lot of damage on this boss because we're one of the few healers that has high HPS output, so we do not struggle healing this. I'll explain this fight really quickly. So I actually wish I saved Ascended Boon for the burst phase. That's kind of like my bad, but other than that, I played this pretty good. So you obviously wanna just keep 5 stacks of flash concentration as always. That's just in general a rule. And then pay attention how like there's only two targets to kill. There is tank, and there is the guy that gets the debuff. You wanna cast heal on the debuff guy, and when the tank needs healing, you wanna cast healing on tank. You also wanna keep dispelling tank. Don't forget to cast that flash heal to renew your flash concentration. And as I said that, I lost my stacks, but that's because I got line of sighted there, so that kind of threw me off. Because Ibius actually went there, and I didn't know that's line of sight. So if you guys didn't know that, now you do. And during this phase, try to just deal damage. Yeah, Holy Fire, Chastise, and then spend Smite. I should not have healed here, I should have casted more Smites. That's kind of my bad. I don't know why I played this conservatively. But yeah, I could have done a lot more damage there. I definitely could have done a lot more damage there. But I guess I was just scared of losing people, so like it's better to be safe than sorry. Because if you do fall behind, it gets kind of rough. Because we do not have like... I mean, we do, but we don't really want to use tools that we don't have to, right? I don't want to have to toofed just because I was lazy to heal. But yeah, I feel like I could have done more damage there. That's basically what I'm trying to say. And I could have. it's not just a feeling. I could have done at least like 2.2k. That's okay though. Okay, still good. And yeah, basically that's what you want to do for this fight. You just want to make sure you're helping out with damage as much as you can, and then also keeping up. You only have 2 targets to heal here, which is ideal case scenario for us. We're really we're good at AoE healing, moderate damage, and we're good at like light healing all the targets, and we're good at single spot healing 1 or 2 targets. That's our strength. So this fight is really like good design for us. This is where Holy Priest really shines.
Purifying blast.
All who oppose us will be destroyed. You must be annihilated. No, I can still fight.
As I peered into Uther's memories, what I saw shook me to the core. But you refuse to see the truth. That the path is flawed. That we serve a lie. And so, I listened to the jailer's words. I learned of the great injustice you and the others thrust upon him, and upon us all. He seeks to free us from the prison we have built for ourselves. And for that, he has earned.
So we talked a little bit here about how we want to do this, and we decided to pull 2 of these. And we felt like we had to, because we were like behind from all the DCs and all the waiting. We don't normally do this, so it was a bit sketchy and difficult. But if I remember, it went decent. The thing about this is you need to kill them at the same time. Otherwise the other one just gets healed. So they need to die at the same time. Obviously there's like a little bit of, you know, lenience there. There's like a little bit of room for, you know, it's not like exactly the same like in a millisecond. I don't know how much time exactly you have, but I would assume it's like 2 or 3 seconds. But that still means you gotta kill them within like 10k or so, right? So, as you will see, we do kill them pretty evenly. It's very well done. We have good like 2 target damage because we got 2 frost mages and a rogue, so we can like decide how we damage pretty well. It's pretty controlled. And here I'm actually I think I'm gonna miss the spear. Yeah, I missed the spear basically, but we learned something new, that if you pull it back into spear, it still heals. So that's, sorry, not heals, stuns, so that's pretty good. But yeah, I missed because I'm not used to throwing spears, like, and also I switched to Kyrian pretty recently, so I didn't know if it's gonna be like instant or slow, or, I mean, I threw it before, but I never paid as much attention. I was never in like a high pressure situation to spear like I am now, because usually there's more than one Kyrian, so like I only do it if there's not much else going on here. I probably divine him. Wait, was that lag or something? That was really weird. The lag. I don't remember that at all. Yeah, I tried to eat here a little bit.
I serve a far greater power.
At this point, we realized we got time to time this, so we were super hyped, and it was like really exciting. And this boss is pretty straightforward. Just notice how we're slow, right? So a few times you will see me get hit, not just me, other people as well. It's a bit harder to position when you're slow, obviously, so you gotta really pay attention where the run through is going. You gotta be like max focused on that, because otherwise you might get...
This spear shall pierce
penetrated
your
like I
heart.
was and like infested was now, and it's just dangerous overall. Really gotta be careful there.
Detonation.
And here he is actually took a lot of damage. That's kind of weird. Oh, he's standing in the
This spear shall pierce your
standing in the pool.
heart.
That explains a lot. Just look at all these beautiful frostbolts flying out. It's like zoom, 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 and we phase, you know. You know, the typical stuff. You as a healer, you don't really do much here, besides keep people alive. As you can see, it was quite stressful at times, and also my mana wasn't like the best, so things got a bit scary at some point. Because if you remember, I started the fight with like 20% mana or something. I managed to eat like a little bit, but because we killed like 3 angels pretty fast, which was quite intense, and then we had to fight this. But that's okay, like that's what it takes to time these. So. And we lost it here. I popped Ascension Moon during the last for extra DPS. I feel like one thing I could have done better is I could have applied Holy Fire on Shadowlands Pain before using Ascended Moon. Just something to think about, like a little bit of min-maxing. Because you will have those dots running anyway, right? If you cast them like that. So here I actually wish I dispelled myself. Okay, I did. Yeah, and infested cloak. I thought I dispelled him, but he actually cloaked, and yeah, okay. That's actually good then. And here I hope I'll cast Chastise soon. Yeah, I was just focusing on dealing like as much damage as I can. Like we were really stressing over damage here, because we were just like, I told them like go full YOLO, don't dodge anything, like I don't care, just deal damage, I'll keep you alive. That's basically what we said. Since besides like Abyssal Detonation, there's no one-shot mechanics here, so I was confident that I can keep people alive.
Abyssal detonation.
And here it comes. This was actually a bit wonky, and I make a really tight call there. That's pretty spooky. And then I get ran through. So that was a bit unfortunate, and almost cost us the king. This game being slow is actually really annoying for us as priests, because we're slow even without the slow debuff, let alone with slow debuff. Luckily I get a combat res here, engineering MVP, and I keep people alive. It's my bad completely, like I'm just like slow is just an excuse that kind of makes it more acceptable, but it was totally my fault, like I just didn't pay attention to the mechanic. And here I just said don't dodge anything, just get the balls, and we did. 50 seconds to take 20% of the HP from the boss. Guy coming back soon. I should be casting Shadow Word that. I did. Holy Fire now. Holy Fire. Good job. Smite, 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 smite. And heal when needed.
Abyssal detonation.
PI is back in 2 seconds. 1 second. I hope I'm gonna cast it on somebody. Yeah, I cast it. Dispel this. Just keep healing. 5 more percent. 20 seconds. At this point we were super hyped and excited and focused. Just Chastise, Holy Fire again, and 12 seconds to spare, and that was really cool. Plus 7 points, well earned.
The jailer's
And
schemes
yeah,
have torn a schism.
thank you guys for watching. Hope to see you again.